Hey gang, today I want to talk about fractions on a number line. Being able to find a fraction on a number line. Finding a point and telling me where that point is on a number line. Okay. Fractions. Remember, fractions are always numbers that are between 0 and 1. So on a number line, you're going to be able to identify 0 where your line begins and where the number 1 is. Your fraction will be somewhere on that line. How do we determine what the fraction is? Two things we've got to do. First, we have to determine how many equal sized pieces are there on the line from the 0 to the 1. That's our first step, okay? So we're going to have to count from the 0 to the 1. Now the easiest way to count is for you to mark on the number line. Okay, I'd like you to be in the habit of marking on the number line. How do you mark it? Watch, I'm going to model it for you. Modeling it means I'm going to show you the thing I want you to do. I'm going to start at the 0. And I'm going to make a curved line, kind of like a jumping bunny or frog, okay? I'm going to go from the 0 to this first line. Then I'm going to go from the first line to the next one, and to the end, okay? Now, if you do that, what you should notice is that all of your curved lines are about the same size. In everything that we've talked about with fractions, we keep talking about how the pieces have to be the same. That's true no matter whether you're doing fraction of a whole or fraction of a part, or fraction of a set rather, or fraction on a number line. The piece you've got to have the same things. Okay? So these are the same size. Now, how many of those jumps did I make? Here's the common error that kids make when they're doing fraction of a number line. They say 1 here. When you're at the beginning place, whenever you're starting somewhere with something, that's not 1, that's 0. That's where you are. In order for you to get to 1, you've got to move from that spot, okay? We've got to go from here to there. That's 1. We didn't do anything yet, okay? We didn't do anything here. So that's 0 there. 1, 2, 3, 4. You do have to come to the end, okay? You do have to come to the end. So on this particular number line, there are 4 parts that make up the line. So it's in fourths. Okay, I could put 4, 4, 4. Okay, it's in fourths. All right, now, for the numerator, where am I as I'm jumping down the line? This was 1 jump, so that's 1/4. This was 2 jumps, that's 2/4. This was 3 jumps, 1, 2, 3, that's 3/4. This is 4 jumps, that's 4/4. And I'm going to write that on there. Whenever you have the same numerator and denominator, whenever the numbers are the same, 4/4, that equals 1. Okay? So it's just going to be numbered as 1, but that is 4/4. I wanted to put it on there. Now, what you're probably going to see on most number lines is you won't see 2/4 ever on there. 2/4 is the same as 1/2. So I want you to know that 2/4 is probably not ever going to show up. Whenever you have 2/4, that's going to be 1/2. 2 is half of 4, so that's going to be 1/2 in the middle. All right, why is it 1/2? 1/2 means 1 part out of 2, right? Well, this is in 4 parts, not 2. Watch. You get a green marker here. If I did this, 1, 2. I could do the jump. I could do 2 of these in 1 jump, right? 1, and then 2 more, 2. That's why it's half. Okay? That's why it's half. All right? So my point right here, the point I had on here was at 1/4. All right? On this number line, again, here's 0, here's 1. Here's the point I want to find. I want to know where this is right here. The first thing I have to do is see how many equal sized sections are on my number line. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Do the pieces look the same? They do. So I know I'm good. How many pieces were there? How many jumps did we make? 3. So this is in thirds, thirds, thirds. All right? This first jump, this is how many thirds? 1. Remember, this is 0. We don't count this one. 1, 1/3, 1, 2, 2/3. What would this be? This would be 3/3, right? Good, I heard somebody say it there. 3/3, numerator and denominator are the same, 3/3. We're gonna put it as a 1 there, okay? So where was my point? My point was at 2/3. Okay, next one, same thing. Same thing, I wanna find out where my point is. So I'm gonna count how many sections are on my line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 sections on my line. Do they look like they're the same? They do. So they're all in fifths. There were 5 sections, fifths. This would be 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. So my point is at 3/5. What would be down here for 1? If it's in fifths, how many fifths make 1? 5/5, right? Same numerator and denominator. This is pretty straightforward, and I don't see too many of you that are going to have a problem with that. Now, let's talk about some other ways that you'll see that you'll see some fractions this year on a number line. Some other number lines that you'll see. Sometimes you will get a number line and you'll only get part of it. You'll have to estimate the fraction. We've done estimating fractions with figures. You'll also have to estimate on a number line. Sometimes you'll get a number line. It'll look like that, no marks on it, and just the point. It'll say, where is that point? No, where's that? What you've got to do is you've got to make your line, and then say, all right, how big is that section? Okay, how big is that section? And then can I repeat it? All right. So on this one, if I drew a line here. Well, this is certainly smaller than this is. So I'm probably going to have that as my size piece. Does that make sense? I can't do this again. This is probably going to be my size piece there. Now, this is what paper would be. Paper would be a great help, okay, to put a paper in here and mark it, okay, and say, oh, well, that's the size of that one section. I'm going to put a dot, mark here and a mark here, and then I'll just simply move it down and mark it again. That would be a great help. Okay, so we can certainly do that. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to see this one. I'm going to say, all right, it goes to there. And then I'm going to slide it down. I'm going to mark it again right there. So I should have a line here. And then I go down there and do it one more time. If I use that paper, now I have these sections. Do they look the same? Now they do, don't they? Now I can see I've got 1, 2, 3 sections. So it's in thirds. 1/3, 2/3, that of course would be 3/3, which is 1. So this would have been 2/3. So you kind of have to estimate it like we did with shapes. All right, let's do another. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that this time. Sometimes you will get a mark on the page. Okay? I've got a mark here. And so when you look at this, you see, all right, I've got this big section here and 2 equal size sections there. Is there anything missing? Yeah, that doesn't look like this. Okay? That's a section. That's a section. I've got to do that again. So again, you can go back to your paper or you can eyeball it. Paper's going to be more exact. But you can look at it and say, all right, if I was going to make another section that size, it would be right here, right? Yes, 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 yes. All right. So I was missing this section right here. Okay? Now that I've done that, do they look the same? It does. So it's in fourths. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. But wait a minute, that 2/4 isn't going to be there. They're not going to call it 2/4. They're going to call it what? They're going to call it 1/2. 2/4 is 1/2. They're the same thing. Same thing, same thing. All right. Let me talk to you one more time about something else as well. when you see a number line, sometimes you're going to see different denominators. Kind of like the 4th and a half, like I showed you. All right? There are times you might see something like this. And this is going to say 5/8. Okay? So you got a point on there and it says 5/8. Well, the denominator is telling you that you need to have how many parts. See, the denominator is going to tell you how many parts you need to have. You need to have 8 parts. All right? Well, right now it's not in 8 parts. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 parts. I've got to make it 8. What you've got to do again is look at the size of the pieces. And you want to find the smallest pieces, and that's the one you're going to have to replicate or duplicate. All right? These are the same. Okay? I can make these look like this. Okay? By going in the middle. I need a spot there. All right? Same, 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 same. I need one here. Same, same. Need one here. Same. Now, when I do that, I should come out with how many? I should come out with 8. Let's see if I did it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I have 8 spots. And what they're going to do, they'll have that. They may have had a spot over here, and they may have said, you know, where is point A? Well, point A is here. Now I know it's eighths, and this is going to be 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. So this would be at 3/8. Okay? While I'm on an eighths line, let me also talk to you about how it will be labeled. The middle of the eighths line, let me do this first. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and of course 1 would be how many eighths? 8/8, right? All right, you're not going to see a number line that's labeled all in eighths because we can simplify or change some of those fractions to fractions that are easier for us to understand. For example, the middle is always going to be what fraction? Just like 2/4. It's going to be half. Okay? That middle line is always going to be 1/2. All right? Your 2/8 is going to be 1/4. Your 6/8 is going to be 3/4. There are times, boys and girls, where you will see a number line that will look like this, and it's going to have different labels on it. Okay? Don't panic about it. You know they're going to be eighths. You can write the eighths underneath it. 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8. You can certainly do that. Certainly do that. Okay? But know that anytime you get a fraction, and if your answer is not shown, you have to simplify the fraction. You have to divide the fraction to come up with the other one. Make sense? Sure? Let me show you. Let me do it again so we know what we're talking about. Okay, you have a point on a number line there, and it says, where is that number line? And you get these choices. You get A, 2/3, and you get B, 1/2, and you get C, 3/4, and you get D, 5/6. Okay, those are the choices that you got. Well, the first thing you need to do is see what your number, see where it actually is. How do we do it? Count all your parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mark on your number lines. Do that on there each time. That's 6/8. So, oh, I got it, 6/8. Oh, it's not there. Oh, no, I did something wrong. No, you didn't. 6/8. Now we have to find the equivalent fraction. We talked about equivalent fractions. Can I put 6/8 next to each of these and cross multiply? I can. I can certainly do that. When I cross multiply, I want to look for one that gives me the same numerator in both, right? So I can do that, all right? Or we can divide 6/8 by the same number. What's a number I can divide both of these numbers by? I can divide them both by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and it should be 3/4. So let's go ahead and cross multiply this one and see if that's what we get. 4 times 6 is 24. 8 times 3 is 24. So I do get the same numerator. They will be equivalent. Okay, it would be 30 seconds. I would do the 4 times 8. 24, 30 seconds. It would be equivalent if I cross multiplied. Okay? All right. When you have a number line, gang, first thing you want to do, make sure all your parts are the same size. If one part is big, you've got to break that part up. You've got to visualize it and see, make all your parts equal in size. Okay? Then count your denominator. All right? Count all your parts. Remember, you do not count this as 1. That's your starting point. And then you count your numerator. Okay? The part where you're trying to go to. All right? Should be relatively simple. All right. There should be a link where you can try a sheet for you to work on. All right? Work hard. Pay attention. Ask your teacher questions. Proud of you.